Okay, hi everyone. In this video, I'd like to introduce you to kind of my recording style, how I record videos for online classes, and how I kind of use a few different tools to help make things a little bit better for my video quality overall.
Hi. Okay, so let me show you my recording studio this way. Okay, so as you can see, this is my kids' room, but I think that you do need kind of your own private space where you can have kind of a recording studio. So yes, every morning I do come in here and I clean up a little bit, and then I set up the recording studio kind of as you see here. And I want to talk about each of these pieces for this recording studio one by one, so you can kind of check out some of the things that you might consider when you're recording your video. So for example, I have light, I have microphone, I have a setup for my handphone when I want to record a book, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. And then I also have this video setup, and I'll explain all of these pieces individually, but let's start with the number one most important thing. Take a look at the back wall. The back wall is my kids' wallpaper. Sometimes you have, your, I don't know, books or your things in the background. And so sometimes we don't want to show what's in the background of our house. So what I've done is up here on my light, I hooked up like a bar. And on this bar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and hook up some curtains, some really lightweight curtains. And so this is basically what I do. This is what I do every morning when I come in here to record a video. I hook up some lightweight curtains like this. And if you don't have a light, or if you're worried about hanging stuff off your light, then you know what else you can use is you can use those standing laundry hanger racks. I'll show you a picture of that in the video. Great, so there's my backdrop from the other side. Now you can come in and take a look inside the studio. Okay, so now you can see that we've got a nice background. It's a little bit wrinkly, but it's much better than seeing some kind of crazy background in the back there. And then from there, I'm able to sit down and I'm able to record whatever I want here at the studio. Okay, so now that we went through the setup of the studio a little bit, let me introduce you to a few more of these pieces individually. So you can see right there, we've got the monitors in the background. I've got two monitors hooked up. And the reason for this is because on the big monitor right here, I have a program that allows me to record anything that I'm showing on my desktop. So you can see right now, this is the same desktop that I've got right here. So if I go and open something on the desktop, for example, Microsoft Word, you can see that Microsoft Word is going to open up right there in the background. So we've got the same thing in the background here that we've got in the background over here. And that's how that works. Right now, I do have the web camera showing up my face and this phone so that you can just kind of see what we can have going on here. But that's the reason why I have the second monitor, is so that I can see exactly what's happening both with the web camera and with the screen at the same time. Because, I mean, you really only need one monitor, which is the main monitor, in order to record what's happening with this program. And I'll introduce you to this program a little bit later. But the main reason that I have a secondary monitor here is so that I can actually watch what I'm recording. And that really helps me to record things a lot better. So currently, you can see that the background of my recording studio, right there, it's green. It's the green curtain that I just put up a moment ago. But sometimes what happens is in the background, right back there, one of the lights in the other room is on. So if my door is open, the light is on. So that's why I always need to make sure to close the door. Close the door. It also gives you a better sound in the recording studio. It gives you no light, no distraction from the background. So that's a lot better. Okay, and let me also show you this. This is why it's very useful to have a secondary monitor up here, because one of the most useful things that you can do is read a script from your monitor. So sometimes what I like to do when I record videos is I like to use a secondary monitor to write out a full script of the PowerPoint or whatever I'm going to be using. I write out sometimes notes, presentation notes here on the secondary monitor, so that then when I go back to the main screen, I can open up PowerPoint full screen, and then I can still have my notes. I can still have my notes over here while I am recording PowerPoint over here on the main screen. You could also set up PowerPoint to use presentation mode on one monitor so that you would be able to see the next upcoming slides and prepare for those as you're recording them on the main monitor right there. So that is one of the most useful reasons why you should have, or why you should consider having, a secondary monitor if possible. Okay, let me also introduce you to the light. And for the light, I'll show you right now. The light is positioned right up here, right kind of next to my face, a little bit at an angle. And so a lot of professional recording studios, or well, YouTubers, use lights like this, one at the right side and usually one at the left side. So I could turn this into a light also, because when you have lights showing on the front of your face like this, it actually gives you a better picture quality. So let me show you what that looks like when I am recording actually with the desktop right there. So what we've got going on right here is you can see my face like this, and you can see my face relatively well in the web camera like this, but if I turn on the light like this, you can already see a noticeable difference in the quality of the video, the quality of the lighting. So that is a very interesting use for having a light. So you kind of have a light positioned off to the side of your face. You can have one on either side, both sides. Even sometimes people put a light in the back here. Currently, the reason that my curtain looks bright up there is because I do have the light turned on in the top of my room. So if I turn off the light in the room, then this is what it looks like. This light is way too bright. That light is way too bright. That light is way too bright. And it's distracting from everything else. And if I turn on this light, then it makes everything a little bit better with the web camera. And you can also remember that the web camera is here instead of over here. What I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at the secondary monitor. So in order to make this work a little bit better, maybe what you want to do is you want to move your camera a little more in line with the secondary monitor, so that you just have to look up and down and up and down in the secondary monitor if you want. So that can be a little bit helpful. Another thing that you can notice in this position is that right in front of me, right there, I do have a big curtain. And so what I like to do sometimes, especially if I'm not using that light, is I open the curtain, because this gives me a natural form of sunlight in here. Today is a little bit of a rainy day, a drowsy day, dreary day, so I don't really have very good light in the front. But with this light on, then I do still have pretty good front light. And so you can see what that looks like now in this picture. And if I turn off the light one more time, it's not so bad now that I've opened the curtain. My face is a little bit more visible, a little bit brighter. And when I have bright sun coming in, it's almost like I have two lights on anyway. But sometimes maybe you want just a little bit extra light. Anyway, the light here is really good for when you are recording at night or something like that, or late, so have a light and that will help. Natural light is always better, but secondary light, it also helps. So that is all about the monitor and the light. Next, let me tell you a little bit about the microphone. For this video, let me introduce you to the microphone a little bit. So obviously, everybody knows that here on the side of the computer, you do have a microphone jack, but most of these newer computers, it's a microphone / headphone jack that's combined. So you may need to purchase a headset that is both earphones and a microphone if you want to use that. But I will say that this kind of jack in the side, it has slightly less sound quality than, for example, a USB mic. And that's why I have here also a USB mic. I mean, I know that the web camera also has usually a built-in microphone somewhere. It's either up here or it's down in the computer body somewhere. And that is usually decent for getting some recording quality, but definitely a USB mic, if you want really high quality sound coming out, then a USB mic is really useful. And so I'll give you a couple of options for that. What I have right here too is I have a USB adapter. This USB adapter, it came with a headphone set that I bought a while ago, and it is a USB adapter that has both a headphone jack here and a line-in or a mic jack here. And so this kind of USB adapter, this is what I use for recording sermons at our church, and this is very useful. It gives me a really high quality sound, and it's a much better sound than if I were just using one of these jacks in the side of the computer. The USB jack right there is a lot better quality. And so what I want to do now is I want to show you the difference between the types of audio that I can get out of this recording. So I will give you first just a regular audio from the computer, and then I will give you a little bit of a sound from this USB adapter, and then lastly I will give you a little bit of a sound from this adapter here. Okay, so let's take a look at that. And so basically all of these things are just going to be audio clips that I've already previously recorded, and I'm just going to show you the difference in sound quality. Okay, let me show you a little bit about this book that we've got. So we've got two books. They are the student book and the workbook. It's Smart Choice 1.
Hello, class, and welcome to this very unique and interesting new semester that we're going to be starting here at Jeonju University.
Okay, let's do announcements. Hello, welcome to AICF online service. Again, today we don't really have announcements. All the ministries are postponed, canceled for at least the rest of this week.
Hello, and welcome to this course on modern WordPress theme development. My name is Aaron Snoberger, and I've been building things with WordPress for over a decade now. Okay, and let me say also that I would really recommend having a headset of some kind that you can actually plug into your computer, because having a headset like that allows you to kind of cut out the distractions in the background if you have, for example, roommates or kids or anything like that. It helps you to be able to focus on your class a lot better if you have a headset. So I highly recommend getting a headset and plugging it in whenever you do a live class, a Zoom class, anything like that. Okay, so now let me introduce you to this nice nifty little gadget that allows me to clip my smartphone into a steady position, relatively steady position, so that I can record myself using a book. So let me show you how this works. First, I come over here and I open the clip and I stick the phone right inside that, and then we've got it positioned so that it's ready to record a book. And I do have a little bit of overhead light, although my shadow is in there a little bit. But then I'm able to come in here and I'm able to use a book. I kind of have to go top half, bottom half like this. I kind of have to go page by page, but you can see that this allows me then to kind of get in here, and I can even take some notes if I want. You know, I can circle some things. We're going to be talking about greetings in Korean, an, young, ha, se, yo, you know, things like this. And then the students are able to kind of follow what I'm doing. I can mark things, you know, in the reading, in the listening. The camera, sometimes it doesn't focus perfectly, so you kind of move your hand out of the way so that it will focus a little bit better. But this is a really useful tool also for recording classes or different things that you may want to record. Another thing that you might consider looking into for recording with your smartphone would be a tripod of some kind. I've seen this kind of tripod, you know, a very small desktop tripod, and I've seen also some kind of extendable tripods at Daiso for only like $3 or $4, you know, $5, some of these extendable ones. So that's something else that you could consider picking up. Another thing that you might consider picking up would be a smartphone microphone. Some of these you can find on, you know,
Coupang or things like that. I haven't seen any of these small ones like this in Daiso, but it'll give you a little bit better recording quality overall if you are interested in doing that. It would hook up right to your smartphone's mic jack. You could also hook this up to your computer, you know, things like that. So it might be something worth looking into, at least pricing, and see what kind of things you can get. I have used this kind of setup before with a microphone of this kind, and it does produce really high quality sound as compared to a regular smartphone speaker. So that is something that you might want to look into.
Okay, and now let me introduce you a little bit more to the tool that I'm using to record my screen and my web camera at the same time to create a picture-in-picture effect, and this is called OBS Studio. So you can see it running on the back monitor here, and if I pull it over to my front monitor here, then as I move it around, you can see that it is recording my screen and my web camera the whole time, which is pretty interesting. And one thing that's also interesting with this is I'm able to click the web camera, for example, and I'm able to resize the web camera. I'm able to resize the web camera and position it wherever I want. So upper corner, lower corner, wherever I want, I can kind of reposition myself as I'm recording videos or PPTs or whatever I want. And so the way this works is down here, we have something called sources, and sources gives us the ability to add various different kinds of sources. Right now I've got the video capture device, which is my web camera, and I've got the display capture, which is this. You can see when I highlight that, it lights up in a red outline. And also when I click the video capture device, it highlights the web camera over there. So you can see how that works. And then when I want to, for example, not use the web camera, I can click the little eyeball and it turns off the web camera, even though it's still there. Turn it on, turn it off. And another thing that I can do is down here, I do have this audio mixer, and most of these things are enabled automatically. So currently it will record any desktop audio because the volume for desktop audio is 100%. And so if, for example, I want to play a YouTube video and have it recorded on the screen, then I need to make sure that this desktop audio is all the way to the right. And if I want to record some desktop audio, or if I don't want to record some desktop audio, then I reduce the desktop audio volume all the way. Sometimes what I need to do is I need to mute my mic. You can see right now the mic is vibrating as I am recording this video. You can see my voice, my sound waves coming out. So what I may need to do sometimes, especially when I've got kids at home, if I'm recording desktop audio, for example, listening or a video or something like that, I don't want to pick up any background noise. So I will turn the mic audio all the way off. And then now you can see that it's not picking up any of my audio from the mic that's hooked up, right? But then obviously don't forget to turn the mic back on when you want to record something. The other day, my wife recorded a whole 30-minute video with no audio, which was too bad. I do have a secondary mic, which is probably my USB mic. I do have the video capture device here also, but you can see I'm not getting any feedback on any of those right now, so that means they're not really being utilized. I can see which ones have volume at which time, and then I can decide which one to use. And then over here on the right, I can start recording. And just make sure that everything is set up. Make sure that you've got your video devices, video capture, display capture, your mic, your desktop audio. Those should all be set up. That's the very basic setup. And then just go ahead and start recording. And I'll give you some more introduction to this program a little bit later, but I think that's enough for a tutorial, an introductory tutorial. There is one more very key piece of equipment that I almost forgot to introduce, and that is this baby. This is a nice soft mouse pad, because when you're recording things with OBS Studio, it picks up every click, every type, every touch that you make. So for example, this kind of sound, moving the mouse around, that's relatively light sound, and that doesn't really show up too much in OBS Studio. But if I was not using a mouse pad, that's a very harsh sound, and OBS Studio really picks up all of these clicks down here. So make sure that if you're going to use OBS Studio, make sure that you have a mouse pad, because it's nice and soft touch for that recording.
Might
want to consider when you are uploading your videos for school. I know that a lot of teachers probably have a website that looks a little bit like this. This is a program called Moodle, and it is very similar between many universities, so I know that many people are going to have a similar looking thing. We can turn on editing here, and then I'm sure that many of you have probably seen something like this associated with your schools. When you upload videos, you may consider uploading many different videos, because then you can keep the time of each video a little shorter, and it'll be a little bit easier for your students to watch it. It'll also be a little bit easier for them to go back in and find specific information that they may want to know more about or refresh themselves on. For example, they might want to learn all about their grades here. They might want to learn all about, their homework here. They might want to learn about their book. They might want to learn about the grammar point. So you could split your very long video. If you have to make an hour video or longer, you could split it into smaller videos. It'll be more manageable for you, it'll take less editing, and it'll also be more manageable for your students because it will keep their interest. They will be able to, step away between videos, have a coffee or go to the bathroom or something. They can come back right where they left off. So instead of having, like one single very long, hour-long video, I think that breaking it into smaller sections, that each one will still count toward your time, and it should be a lot better for everybody involved.
Okay, thanks for watching. I hope that this video gave you a few things to consider, a few new ideas about how you could possibly get some better quality videos in the future, whether it be better lighting or better audio or better video or just a better recording studio setup, background, better recording tools, things like that. I hope that this video was helpful for you. In some follow-up videos, I will be going through some of the tools I use for editing videos. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I will try to get to those when I can. Thanks.